interest rates rising.
I think buyers are a little more nervous.
Home sales falling.
They're not sure what's going to happen.
Coloradans finding it harder to sell their homes nowadays.
You know, I don't want it to sit too long.
Tonight, how these higher rates are already having an impact on Colorado's housing market.
It's a little bit of uncertainty, but there's still people that want to buy and sell.
All right, a look at the sell-off on Wall Street today following the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates again, this time a whopping 3/4 of a point.
The Fed tonight signaling even more hikes before the end of the year.
We are moving our policy stance purposefully to a level that will be sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2%.
So what that means for you is higher borrowing costs on your credit cards, vehicles, student loans, even homes.
And this announcement comes on the same day the National Association of Realtors says home sales dropped in August for the 7th month in a row. Now, sales of existing homes down 0.4% from July, and the group said that's nearly a 20% decline from 1 year ago. Also, Redfin today released a report ranking Denver 5th in the country for the fastest cooling housing markets.
And across the country, the median home price in August was up nearly 8% from 2021. And it's those high prices and higher mortgage rates that prospective home buyers say are keeping them from finding the right fit.
Denver 7's Rob Harris spoke with one person trying to sell a home in Aurora and shows us what she is experiencing.
Joanne Page has spent 13 years renovating, getting her house just right.
We just thought right now would be a perfect time, you know, to do that.
It culminated in her pride and joy. Her garage turned second living room.
I love the fact that in the morning you can just sit here and just sunbathe, and it just feels so good. I love it.
The time's been coming to close the chapter on this house and begin a new life out of state. Paige and her husband first listed the house in 2020 when the market was white hot.
We had multiple offers, we had multiple showings, like literally my phone was like beeping every 5 minutes because it was just showing after showing.
Despite the intense interest in their home, the Page family pulled it off the market in 2020, wanting a couple more years in Colorado. They re-entered the market mid-August of this year, and they found a completely different dynamic.
You can definitely tell it has definitely subsided. And so I don't feel like we're in a bad place. I think that everyone was just kind of spoiled, you know, houses going on the market in a day and being sold the very next day.
The Pages came to the decision with their realtor this week to drop their listing price by about $30,000, adjusting to lower buying power from buyers amid the higher mortgage rates. Their agent, Joy Dysart, says she's having conversations with her buyers and sellers as the market shifts and expectations need to be adjusted.
We're just not getting enough showings. There is some feelings of what is going to happen next. But I think overall we're in a great location. We live in Denver. We're still have low inventory. So I think it will still go, maybe not as fast, and I think that might be good.
For now, Joanne Page is keeping her head up and is hopeful the stars will align and the right buyer will come along, even if it is a longer process than she had first anticipated.
I don't feel like we're in a bad place. I just feel like we're kind of like just leveling things out, and I still feel good about it.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
Developing tonight, Denver police have issued 2 separate and unrelated shelter-in-place orders as they look for wanted suspects. They're asking people to avoid these areas. The first in the East Colfax neighborhood at Colfax and Lafayette. The second area is in the 300 block of North Stewart Street in the Barnum West neighborhood. Denver police have not said what these suspects are wanted for.
City of Aurora has narrowed down its list of police chief candidates to 2. They are Scott Ebner, Deputy Superintendent of Administration for the New Jersey State Police, and Albuquerque Police Chief of Staff David Franklin. A third finalist withdrew his name this afternoon. In the next week, Edmund Franklin will begin a 3-day series of interviews with police, city leaders, and Aurora residents.
And staying in Aurora, 3 people were taken to the hospital, but they are expected to be okay after an RTD train derailed along the R line. This happened at Sable and Exposition. RTD says the area will reopen tomorrow morning and the cause of the derailment is still under investigation. Authorities are investigating more threats across the Front Range. Classes at Adams City High School are set to resume tomorrow after being canceled today following a threat that was made on social media. Police say it was found to be unsubstantiated. Also today, all Denver Public Library locations were closed because of unspecified threats. The library says normal schedules will resume tomorrow and Denver police will have extra patrols around open locations.
Homeless advocates say the city is using aggressive tactics to sweep camps and claim they're in violation of a legal agreement. And today their lawyer sent a letter to the mayor and city council alleging dozens of instances when the city did not notify the unhoused of their intent to sweep their camps.
Well, Denver 7's Jessica Porter is joining us now. You spoke to an attorney who says these sweeps are becoming dangerous.
And Shannon, the letter contains egregious accusations claiming city officials and contractors have harassed, bullied, and even assaulted unhoused individuals and advocates. Known as the Lyle Settlement, in 2019, the city of Denver entered an agreement to give 7 days notice before sweeping a homeless camp and promised to store the belongings of the unhoused after a sweep. The letter sent to the mayor today lists over 24 sweeps in the last 6 months where advocates claim those rights were violated. Attorney Andy McNulty tells me city officials and contractors are using inhumane tactics to intimidate the unhoused and advocates. And one of those advocates tells me she was injured during a sweep in May.
Someone came up in a Bobcat and tapped the fence. They backed up. They tapped the fence again. They backed up. They looked at their boss and then they hit the fence and they knocked it over. I had an injury to my leg that lasted for several months.
These things are, they're not just illegal, but they're intolerable in a humane society. So based on that and this escalation of, based on the escalation of the tactics by the city, it was time to say enough is enough.
McNulty says Denver will face a lawsuit if things do not change. Mayor Hancock released a statement today saying, quote, "Without question, we expect that all city employees treat everyone with respect. We are confident that city employees and city contractors do just that." In addition to reminding our teams about the legal parameters of the Lyle settlement, we also consistently reinforce the need to treat our unhoused residents humanely and with dignity. Live in the studio, Jessica Porter, Denver 7.
The president of Ukraine pleading today with world leaders for more weapons in the fight against Russia. In a pre-recorded message to the UN General Assembly, Volodymyr Zelensky said he believes Ukrainian territories will be liberated over time. And he also called for a special tribunal to punish Russia for its aggression.
Ukraine demands punishment for trying to steal our territory, punishment for the murders of thousands of people.
Today, Vladimir Putin announced a partial mobilization of Russia's reservists. 300,000 Russians expected to be drafted into this war. The Russian president also warned he will use everything at his disposal to protect Russian territory. That is a veiled reference to his nuclear arsenal. And today, President Biden told the UN Russia's actions in Ukraine should make their blood run cold.
This war is about extinguishing Ukraine's right to exist as a state, plain and simple.
Russia is now planning to stage referendums in attempts to annex regions it occupies in Ukraine. Western leaders have denounced those referendums as sham.
The U.S. Justice Department is giving the green light to resume its criminal probe using the classified documents seized from former President Trump's Florida home. The appeals court decision reverses a trial judge's ruling that blocked federal investigators' work on the documents. It also partially halts a special master's review of that subset of about 100 records, which would have allowed Trump's legal team to see them. However, the special master is able to continue his work reviewing the rest of the material. And the U.S. House passed a bill that would change the Electoral Count Act. This is in response to the events on January 6th. This bill would make it harder for members of Congress to botch the certification process with objections that aren't based on legitimate concerns. And it would clarify that the vice president's role in counting electoral votes is strictly ministerial. It is unclear when the Senate will take it up.
Left high and dry.
We've invested $29,600.
More Coloradans are reaching out to contact Denver 7, accusing a contractor of taking their money and not finishing the job.
All I have is a pile of steel.
Wet weather for tonight and much of tomorrow. I'll let you know when the sunshine and 80s return.
Plus, off to a sluggish start. What Russell Wilson says the Broncos need to fix in order to turn things around.
My name is Lydia Alvarez. I am Mexican American. My roots are from Mexico, and the reason why I celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month is to celebrate my culture, my heritage, with myself, my family, and the rest of the United States.